Are we live? We are live. We are live. Yes. Sometimes I have no faith in technology. Sometimes I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, remember last time we did this, my mic wasn't working. So could someone just say, Ade, we can hear you properly this time through this mic, not through the computer, through the mic. If you can, just a thumbs up or anything would be much appreciated. Let me quickly go right to the bottom. I'm not even going to start this yet properly without someone in this chat right now saying, yes, we can hear you and it's all good. Come on, someone. I need it. I need a thumbs up before we do it. I'm not starting. I'm not starting. Someone needs to write right now. Someone needs to say something. Let's have a look. No one's saying anything. No one's saying anything. Okay, we got a thumbs up. We got a thumbs up. There you go. There you go. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Guys, firstly, and girls, thank you so much for joining the live. I appreciate it. I know you guys could have been doing anything on a Sunday evening, but you chose to spend an hour or so with me, which, you know, I can't be mad at. I can't be mad at. By the way, how good was Boots yesterday? Now, I don't like sort of people that sort of revisit history, because prior to this fight, a lot of people were saying Stanionis was going to cause a problem, and Stanionis this and Stanionis that, and all of a sudden Boots destroys him. It's like, Stanionis went shit. Can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. Stanionis was a good fighter. Boots just proved that he was a very good fighter. I will say this: the IBF rehydration thing not being an issue yesterday is so important. It's so important. As soon as I saw Boots on the scales, that's why I did my video yesterday and said that Boots will win by TKO. As soon as I saw Boots on the scales without the rehydration issue, I was like, Boots is just going to be too big. He's going to be too big. Plus, we know how skilled he is. That means he can take a shot as well, because he took a couple of shots, by the way, yesterday. We'll get to that. But that means he's just better at everything than Stanionis. Even the jab, which was, I guess some people said that Stanionis might have a better jab. He was better at everything. Plus, he looked about, I'm going to say Boots walked into that ring a light heavyweight. I'm going to say 175, 176. I'm going to say Stanionis walked into that ring 160. I'm not, so one of them was just far too big for the other. I'm not trying to say it all came down to size, but size matters in this sport. Size matters, and Boots was just too big. Boots is going to be too big for Barrios, and Boots is going to be far too big and far too good for Brian Norman. That being said, if Eddie can make those fights easily, and the story be about him becoming undisputed as opposed to him fighting Barrios or fighting Brian Norman, then make those fights. There are quite a few big fights out there for Boots, but I do think if it's easier to make those fights and Boots wants to become undisputed, and now there is no issue about him struggling with the weight, he always will struggle to make 147, but it's about how he rehydrates, and obviously he got it right yesterday, so congratulations to him. All right, as always when we do this show, plenty of questions are going to come in. Plenty of questions have come in already, so should we just jump straight to it? Remember, get your questions in. I will try and stay on this live for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, so you should get your question answered. But yeah, let's do this. Let's have some fun. Deep Random Thinker. Will we ever see a bigger historic event in our lifetime than 19th of May 2024 when Usyk became undisputed heavyweight champion? I hope so. I mean, I hope that's not it. I mean, I'm in my 40s. Jeez. I hope that, fingers crossed, touch wood, I stay around for another 50 years. Surely there's going to be a bigger fight than that. But it was massive. I mean, to be ringside for that was just incredible. That point when the referee kind of calls them together and the bell goes, you're thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen. And especially because that was a genuine 50-50 fight. Like, a lot of people were swinging both ways. So I hope we do. I mean, there are some big fights that are going to happen. I mean, Canelo Crawford's massive, by the way. Not to the same scale as that, because that undisputed heavyweight title, I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that. But Canelo Crawford, and I'm not looking, actually, I am looking past Skull. Canelo Crawford's a big fight. It's a big fight for different reasons, but it's going to be at the Raiders Stadium. What's that, 70, 80,000, whatever. That's fucking enormous, dude. That's a big, big fight. So, yeah, I feel like there's big fights coming. Another PBC fighter exposed outside of a PBC show. Tank was exposed earlier this year. Benavidez soon. I don't care about all that kind of stuff. If I'm honest with you, dude. I don't like. There's this thing, PBC, Matchroom, Golden Boy, all fighters, and I kind of show them all their own respect. I think all these fighters, regardless of what broadcaster or what network they're on, are good. So I don't think Tank will be exposed when he fights Lamont Roach, just for the sake of answering your question. And Benavidez, good luck exposing that guy. He isn't going to fight BIVOL or Beterbiev anytime soon. And whoever he does fight next, he's going to be a big favorite in. So I don't see that happening. Henrik 180 says, "Hey Ade, did you know that Shakram Gyasov has more Instagram followers than Haney, Inoue, Boots, Shakur, Teofimo, and Benavidez? He is now WBA mandatory and Olympic silver medalist. Boots' next opponent, potentially, but it won't come down to his followers. I mean, congratulations, you got a lot of followers, but boxing isn't one and how many followers you've got. It's how good you are. He is good. I think he's a bit undersized. I actually know Shakram quite well. We kind of speak quite a bit, but I think he's a bit undersized for Boots. But look, it's an in-house fight. Matchroom could make that one just like that. He spoke yesterday, didn't he? Quite well about, wanting to fight for a world title. So it's an easy fight to make. I don't know if the public, like, no one's demanding that. Like, of all the options Boots has, no one is saying Shakram Gyasov. Nobody. I haven't heard it ever. So there's a queue, and I think he's a few steps behind in that queue. But as you say, he's WBA mandatory. So, I mean, they could force it sometime soon. Super chat just come in from Adam, says, could Joe Joyce make another run like Chisora? No. Sorry. No. He can't. And I feel, do I feel bad saying that? I don't know if I feel bad saying that, but he can't. No. I think no, I don't really want to get into it too tough, but I personally don't think he can. You make a good point, because the one thing labeled with Joe Joyce, apart from the fact he takes punches, is his age. Chisora's older. And if Chisora can do it, and Chisora takes some shots as well, but I just feel like there's too much going wrong with Joe Joyce. There's far too much going wrong. His feet against Hergovich were really bad. There was times when he was punching into thin air. He's just taken too much punishment in such a short space of time. Chisora's almost been punishment over like a 10-year career, so it's not been so severe, but it almost feels like Joe Joyce has had all this punishment in like the last 18 months all at once. I personally don't think so. I don't think so. Where are we? Oh, was it this one? Was this one? Mayor West, who I think's a member, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Says, hello, Ade. What's your opinion on the IBF rehydration rules? Also, considering how big and better Boots looked without it. It's a tough one, because what the IBF rehydration rules are good for is a fighter can't have that much of an advantage. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're both welterweights. We both weigh in at 147, yet you jump into the ring and you're 15 pounds heavier than me. So what the IBF do, which I think's good, is they try and make it a more even playing field. It's still quite dangerous, but I think it's good. The problem the IBF have is none of the other sanctioning bodies are doing it. Like, if everyone was doing it, then it's fine, but the IBF are doing it. And when it's a unification fight, as you guys know, that rehydration cap goes. There is no rehydration cap. So I personally think it isn't the worst thing, because again, some fighters will literally weigh the same for all of an hour. And then one fighter stays like that, Stanionis, and one fighter, Ennis, goes like that. And all of a sudden, well, we're not welterweights. I'm a middleweight fighting a light heavyweight. So maybe it is a bit unfair. Maybe. Frozone De Niro says, Miller is a walking pharmacy, but can we keep the same energy, especially with White? He's pissed hot more than 90s track and field stars. I'm a big track and field guy, so that comparison and analogy kind of is not a bad one. It kind of makes sense to me. I do think people keep that energy with Dillian White. I do. I see it a lot. I think even Lawrence Okoli put it on his Instagram the other day. I think Lawrence Okoli wants that Dillian White fight, and he mentioned it. So people still keep the energy with White, and people keep it with Miller. I don't think Miller gets. I like Jaron Miller. I want to get this out there straight away. I don't think he gets the heat that fighters over here get. Like when you think of Conor Benn, again, Dillian White, the amount of heat they got or get still compared to Jarrell Miller gets no heat from fight fans over here. Or if he does, it's very, very small and rare. Gets no heat. But yeah, I think the energy is the same with regards to Dillian White. Would love to see you collaborate with Showbiz. Could really boost your channel. You know what the thing is about, and by the way, I like Showbiz. I saw him in New York. We kind of had a little chat. You know, the boosting my channel thing. Yeah, I'm very cool. Just having like when the numbers will be what the numbers are. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like whether I've got 100,000 subs or 10,000 or 60,000, I'm just very cool with it. I feel like I could do videos that would easily get me to 100,000. But it's a bit difficult for me to do now that I'm a broadcaster as well. So we're good. We're good where we are right now. I'm comfortable. But with regards to collaborations, sort of putting aside the fact it could boost my numbers, I wouldn't mind doing more collaborations. Obviously, I've got G-Man on here. I'm doing a thing with Bass, hopefully in a couple of weeks. The Undisputed guys, I want to do something with October Red. So yeah, I do like collaborations. I do like sort of mixing it up with different people. Talking to G-Man, salute to Ade every time. Thank you very much. Absolute Boxing. The members are here. Yes, they are. With regards to the members, the 5 members that I've chosen to shadow me for Ben Eubank Fight Week, a few members have reached out asking what days they are coming on. You'll find out on Tuesday. I'll do a video on Tuesday in the member section, and you guys will find out. That's going to be fucking incredible, by the way. Honestly, to be behind the scenes for Eubank Ben Fight Week, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Jacob Harris, how well do you think Inoue will do in super featherweight or at super featherweight? Very well. Very well. Obviously, look, Cardenas first. Let's not get ahead of us. Let's see what he can do. That's in what, 3 weeks time? 3 weeks, I think. So let's see what he can do. And then Nick Ball seems to be the one. Nick Ball seems to be the one. To be fair, these jumps aren't like, you're not jumping from cruiser to heavyweight. That's what they're small jumps, aren't they? But look, if he can carry his power up and speed, you'd make him favorite against all of the super featherweights. I'm not joking. You'd make him favorite against all of them, right? I just feel like he's an issue. Oh, sorry. No, apologies. I'll make him favorite against all the featherweights. I actually think if he does well against the featherweights, i.e. Nick Ball, I think there might be a double jump to lightweight. You heard it here first. Cash, new member. Thank you. Hey, thank you for all the feedback regarding Car Diaries as well. I'm enjoying doing it. You know, we're having fun with it. There are some serious topics. There are also some fun topics, but I do want to kind of do a bit more serious topics. So next week's videos are going to be a bit more serious, just about life in general. I think people like that kind of stuff. So all that's coming your way very, very soon. What would you like to see more? Fury versus Wallen 2 or Fury versus Derek 4? None. I'd rather walk on hot coal. I'd rather skydive. I'd rather, I don't even know what other things. I'd rather swim with sharks. I'd rather be in a room with 100 snakes. That's how bad I wouldn't want to see those fights. Hey, Ade, 2 things. One, my name is pronounced Freya. Last time out, you butchered it. Sorry, Freya. Second, I love your show with G-Man. And have you any ideas for future shows, such as doing one live at a show? That's the plan. There are so many plans, to be honest with you. I've just got so much fucking things going on in my head, or things like in this little book here. Let me get this little book. I write down about 1,000 things a day. I execute about one of those. But I'm writing them down. I've got so many plans, Freya. So many plans. What's this one? Even that love the show. As someone thinking of trying at sports broadcasting, how hard is it to get noticed? You didn't get to where you are overnight. Love the channel. You and Ariel and G-Man, the best combinations. It's hard. Let's not like fuck around. Let me not just say it's easy. It's not. It's hard. It's hard. There are so many. There are so many good presenters and broadcasters not actually even working at the moment. Can't get work, so it's very difficult. I would say, and I always say this is a bit of advice: start a YouTube channel. It's the only way where you can guarantee yourself airtime, and you can fuck up as many times as you want. Who cares? No one's really watching. But you get practice of talking to a mic and being on camera. You can learn this. So I'll say start a YouTube channel. That's always the thing to do for me. Always. All right. What's this one from Ian Hamilton? Even that, my bro, we have so much to talk about. Can't tell you how pleased I am that you picked me to shadow you. Means the world, bro. Can't wait. Yes, you are one of the people that are coming. And Ian's been subscribed to this channel from the very beginning. So it's fortunate and lucky that you're one of the people I picked, but also deserving as well. So I look forward to seeing you, my man. Hatman's evil twin. When are you and my brother going to collaborate? I don't know. I was actually on one of Hatman's lives the other day. Hatman's the GOAT, man. He is what I wish I could be like in terms of just the freedom to say whatever the fuck he wants to say. But he's very, very good. Very, very good. As for a collaboration between me and him, I actually will reach out to him and see what he says, and who knows, it could happen soon. Let's talk about Boots. Best he's been since becoming champion. Him versus Ortiz will be something. That fight has to happen soon. That's my fight. That's the fight I want to see more than all of the other options. And look, there are so many options. Again, he could want to become undisputed, but I feel like him versus Ortiz would that's a big fight. And I don't know if there's enough money in making that fight, unless it kind of gets chucked on a Riyadh season card, and it's kind of funded that way, because really it's a pay-per-view fight. But I don't know what kind of numbers that would generate yet. But that's the fight I'd want to see next. Remember, there was a talk of that fight happening. Ortiz called out Ennis. It looked like it was going to happen. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. Now, after that performance, maybe Ennis revisits it. Maybe. But I like that fight a lot. I like it a lot. Kyoshi says, Evening, thank you very much. Everyone saying Ethan, nice. Everyone saying they can hear me, which is good. I asked that question a few minutes. All right, good. Oh no, okay. Sound isn't gone. Sound is good. Why is everyone doing that? East London in the building. Yes, sir. East London. From Stratford. Okay. People, I like this. Everyone, loads of people. Jesus Christ. And it was right. Yes, I was right. I was right. And very rare that I'm right when it comes to boxing predictions. But again, and I said this right at the start of the show, as soon as I saw the size of Boots, I was like, nah, Stanionis ain't got a prayer. I didn't expect it to be that quick. I didn't expect him to run through Stanionis that quick. And Stanionis was game. In the first couple of rounds, Stanionis is landing some good shots. That's one thing about Boots that I don't like. And look, no fight is perfect. But there are times when he does get a bit lazy and just sits on the ropes. And he's so confident about his ability to sort of either, I don't know, absorb the shots or avoid them. But I don't like that, because against bigger punches, he might have a problem. David, sweet boy all year round. Boots was amazing last night. Oh my God, he needs to move it to 154 now, Ade. What's your thoughts on that? Yeah, that's it for me. But becoming undisputed is still a big thing for fighters, because it's rare. It's not, 99.9% of fighters would never even win a world title, let alone win 4 belts plus the Ring magazine. So he will genuinely look at Brian Norman and Barrios, especially Barrios. He'll look at Barrios as easy work, and I think it would be easy work for Boots. Brian Norman's a bit trickier, but he'll look at that as just, again, now that he doesn't have the IBF rehydration cap, he'll look at those two fights as fights that he could potentially, I don't think it will happen, do before the end of the year. Like realistically, what we now? We're April. A month off, jump in September. Maybe it's a bit pushing, but starting next year, early next year, he could become undisputed and then jump to 154. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Sam says, hey, Ade, hope you're well. Boots' performance reminds me of Crawford versus Spence. It was meant to be close, but the levels at that level is mad. Yeah, that's a very interesting way of saying it. The levels, even that level. You know, I like that. I might steal that. So you're right. This is world level. And even at world level, two champions, there's levels within that. Crazy, right? I wouldn't go as far as comparing it to Crawford versus Spencer. I know what you mean. But Stanionis was no Crawford and Boots is no... Sorry, Stanionis was no Spence and Crawford and Boots can't be compared. But I understand the analogy. It was a close fight, but no one was picking Stanionis, whereas some people were genuinely picking Spence. Like if you polled 100 people, it was very close to a 50-50 fight between sort of people's picks. Nobody picked Stanionis. Nobody. Margarita says, hello, Ade. Hello, Margarita. I love the channel. The Friday show is my drive home at Listen Now. A lot of people are liking the Ade and G-Man pod. That was our 11th episode. We might make them longer. A few people have asked for longer episodes. I think they're about 45 minutes at the moment. We could do that, but it's good that the reaction has been cool, so we will continue it. Daniel Chambers, boxing fans are the worst. It's annoying. Stanionis is a good fighter. Boots was just on another level. Now people are saying he wasn't ever that good. Yeah, agreed, dude. Agreed. I'm with you. I don't like it. Like, I don't like the revisionism. Like, Stanionis went into that fight as Stanionis went into that fight as the second best welterweight. That's what everyone was saying. That's what the story was being sold as. And now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I think Brian Norman's better. No. What did you think before the fight? Stick with that so that we can give Boots his credit. Boots beat the second best welterweight, a very good amateur as well as Stanionis, and Boots beat the brakes off him. Boots deserves a bit more credit. AMPM says, yo. That's it. Just yo. Reese Cooper says, Boots was a few steps ahead of Stanionis from the get-go. Yeah. And, you know, when Stanionis tried to engage, Stanionis landed a really good shot. I think it was round 2. Actually, good shot. And Boots walked through it. And Boots landed a couple of shots and Stanionis didn't walk through them. I knew Stanionis was like, fuck, we have a problem. This guy's faster than me. He hits harder than me. He's bigger than me. As a pro, he's more experienced than me. That must feel fucking demoralizing when you feel like that in the ring. And I could see in Stanionis' eyes when he went back to the corner that he realized there was nothing he could do. Nothing. George Whitaker. Hi, Ade. Eddie Hearn has said Smith Yard is on the list for the 5 versus 5, and also that talks have started for Smith Benavidez. Which fight would you rather see? Smith Benavidez. Yeah, 100%. Like I want to see Yard Buatsi. Like I've not gone off that train. I'm still on the Yard Buatsi train, just because Buatsi looked good against Smith. It was a good fight. That was the fight of the night. It looked good. Smith was just better. Buatsi hasn't fallen off a cliff. Like, let's still give Buatsi some credit. Let Yard get past Lindenhofer, and let's see Yard versus Buatsi, and let's see Smith versus Benavidez. Like, Smith looked like there's a lot left. And you know the funny thing is about Benavidez? I saw Benavidez, like my first time actually meeting him in person, Riyadh season. He ain't as big as people think, you know. He ain't as big as people think. Smith is a lot bigger than him. I'm telling you, like, believe me, I've seen them both. I've seen them both close proximity. Like, Benavidez is very, very big for 168. All of a sudden at 175, he's big, but not like Smith big. So Smith's got a bit of a size advantage. I don't know if that will mean anything come fight night, because I'd have Benavidez as a favorite, but I like that fight. That's the fight. The Diddler, 2 years a sub a day. Means a lot, brother. Means a lot. Honestly, means a lot. Everyone that's watching this, if you could all please just like the live, like press like. Helps for some reason. I don't know why it helps, but it supposedly helps. If Ben beats Eubank, Eddie and his fighters have had a great start to the year. Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, it's a tough fight. That's a tough ask for Ben to beat Eubank. Like, it's no easy work. I've actually said that I think Ben gets him early. I don't know why. You just have like I can't. There's no logic to it, but you just have that kind of like I think Ben might knock him out. I've kind of got that in my head. I think Ben has a bit of an issue if he does knock him out, which is strange, but that's at 160. Ben ain't staying at 160. And even at 154, Ben is kind of undersized for 154. Like Ben's frame is a 147 pounder. And you look at the names at 154, which I guess is where he eventually will land. I mean, fucking hell, man. Like, look at the ones that don't have belts. Ortiz, potentially Jaron Ennis, Boyshuk, Madrimov, Xander Zayas. That's what awaits you. Those are the ones that don't have belts, let alone fucking Sebastian Findora and Bakram. Jeez. They did a lot. Love the channel. Appreciate it, my man. Appreciate it. Means a lot. Joey Binder says, should Barrios fight Brian Norman, then winner fight Boots, or Boots chase them both down individually? The easier thing, and I think what you said, the first part of what you said, is probably the best thing to do, because then it makes it bigger. Because then you have two champions with two belts, and it just makes it all bigger, and it means he can become undisputed quicker. I don't know what's going on with Barrios. Remember, Barrios said that fight on the undercard of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, and his face got fucked up, like badly. And we haven't really heard much from Barrios since. But that's the fight to make. That's the fight to make. Barrios versus Brian Norman. Boots, put your feet up, wait for the winner, become undisputed, go to 154. Or stay for Haney, Garcia, Tiafimo, whatever. Ade, what do you think about a Coley Golden White? Love it. Absolutely love it. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. If you want a fight, don't just wait for your promoter and manager to make the fight, or everyone's sitting down waiting for Turkey or Spencer Brown or whatever. Go and try and get the fight yourself. And he's trying to go Dillian White into a fight. Dillian White right now has no fight scheduled. Obviously, he was supposed to fight Joe Joyce. Dillian White, say what you want about the style of Lawrence Okolie. Dillian White versus Okolie is a big fight. It's a big fight. I don't mind it. Honestly, I don't mind it at all. For Dillian White, it won't be on his radar. It won't be on his radar. He'll probably be thinking AJ right now, He'll probably be thinking AJ. But for Okolie, big fight. Okolie was supposed to fight Joe Joyce. Like, behind the scenes, I don't know if that's known to everyone, but Okolie was supposed to fight Joe Joyce. Yeah. All right. Let's have a quick look and see where we are. So many questions coming in. All right, where are we? Good question, Scotty. Scotty, I don't. That's the simple answer. I don't. Do you know how many rounds Whittaker versus Cameron is yet? It's crazy if it's still not finalized. Should I just send a message to Ben Whittaker right now? Should I send a voice note to Ben? I'm sending a voice note right now to Ben, and I'm gonna play the response. Let's do it. I'm not even. This is what we're doing right now. We've had enough. We've had enough of this. Ben, what's good, brother? How many rounds is your fight, Ben? I'm doing a live, and all my people are asking, do you know how many rounds this Ben Whittaker versus Liam Cameron fight is? Is it 10 or 12? Good luck to you, brother. Talk to me. I will see. See what he says. I will play it out. I'll play it out what he says. I think it's going to be 10. I think it's going to be 10. I expect Ben Shalom to have paid Liam Cameron a little to accept the 10 rounders as opposed to 12. For what it's worth, I actually don't think this fight goes the distance anyway. I think this fight's going to be pretty violent and exciting. Alexander Murrell, have I got that right? Or is it Murrell? Says, do you think there is appetite for another Boots BAM card to get the Gyasov mandatory out the way as co-main to BAM Cafu? No. No, I don't think there is. Not that there's not appetite, but now that Boots has done what he did, I think Boots can almost go on and do his own journey. Look, it's great to have two big names as main and co-main, and it worked last time, but I almost feel like you can do that. And if they come together for something, then okay, cool. Fans are lucky, but I don't think it's needed. Italma versus Franklin is a 2025 fight I want. Yes. Yes, he's referring to Jermaine Franklin, by the way, who hasn't been too busy since the AJ defeat. He's only had 2 fights, 1 fight last year, which isn't good enough. No fight so far this year, but I think that's a great fight. I stylistically, I think it's a really, what? Yeah, I think Jermaine Franklin's going to surprise a few people. I think AJ took a lot of stick in that performance, but I think it's because people don't realize how good Jermaine Franklin is. I think he's almost a silent assassin. He doesn't look the part, does he? He's not the biggest heavyweight, doesn't really look the part, but that is not easy work for Moses. Not easy work at all. At all. What's this one? Will you ever do a members series where you review smaller channels and give advice? Would love to see that. I'm always happy to help. That's the kind of thing where if someone reaches out to me and they've got a smaller channel, I'll just do that. I'll just take some time aside and have a look at the channel and say that you should be doing this. One thing I would always say about people starting out channels is that you've got to be so consistent with the content. And look, I slack sometimes, but I've gone into channels where people have reached out to me for advice on their channel, and I've gone back on their channel a few months later, and they've done like 3 or 4 videos in a month, and it's just not enough. It's just not enough. You've just got to like really bang out the videos. So yeah, that would be my first advice. But I'm more than happy if you have a small channel and you'd like me to look at it and offer some advice. I mean, I'm not an expert, but slowly but surely I've built this channel up a little bit, and I'm more than happy to help. Ade, are you looking forward to Eubank Ben? And do you think Eubank will be too big for Ben during the fight? No. I'm sorry. Yes, looking forward to it. No, I don't think Eubank will be too big. Eubank's not the biggest at all, people. He's not. Obviously, he's taller, but he's not. I don't think he's as thick as Conor. And look, Eubank's one of those fighters that he's too small for 168. He is. He's a little bit too big for 160. He's kind of stuck in no man's land. But Conor, remember, Conor's not had a 147 fight for 2 and a bit years. I think. Have I got that right? 2 years at least. Let's just say 2 years. So he's not been anywhere near that weight for so long. He walks around, Conor, I'm going to guess. Oh, man. Probably near the 190 mark. 180 something, 190 mark. Conor's a thick guy as well, very thick and solid. So I don't think Ben's going to be too big for him at all. It might look like it on the scales because of his height, but in terms of size, I don't think so. Will Jared Anderson make a comeback with his temperament? Yeah, because he's got age on his side. That's it. And look, that fight, that his comeback fight that he had on Top Rank MSG, or the small room MSG, man, well done to him to even do that, because he took a bit of a beating from Bakoli. It's always good and interesting to see how young fighters react to a first. Oh, he came back. Yeah, some rounds didn't look great. Some rounds were okay, but I think he'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. Like most young fighters, they need to just trim the fat. A lot of them have yes men around them, like so many people around them. It's always interesting when you see a fighter come through who's like 10-0, and it literally is about 3 people around them, 3 people, and they're wearing all their tracksuits. And, that fighter gets to 20-0. I'm not joking. The fucking entourage turns into like 25. And you're like, what do all of you do? Like, what purpose do you bring? Like, what do you like? What is it? I've never understood it. Never understood it. Martin Bakoli, when he fought Jared Anderson, I was waiting to do an interview with Martin Bakoli. He came from the airport with a fucking hand luggage. I'm not joking. I'm not even bullshitting you. I always tell this story. It was like a yellow hand luggage. And I was like, Is that it? He's like, what else do I need? And it was him, and I think it was his cousin, and I think that was it. I'm not joking. I think that was it. Where's the entourage? Don't need it. So yeah, sometimes these boxers need to trim the fat. Maybe Jared Anderson needs to trim the fat. Maybe. Where are we? Just imagine Boots in an already stacked 154-pound division. So many great fights that could be made. When do you think he'll move up to junior middleweight? I'm not sure. I want him to go now, but I also understand the want for him to become undisputed. And Eddie seemed to. It seemed as though Eddie wanted him to go to 154, but that was prior to this unification fight when it looked like he was really struggling with the weight. Now again, that the IBF rehydration cap thing isn't a thing. I think he'll stay around for at least another 12 to 18 months, clean up the division, and then jump. Remember, he's young. I think that's one thing with Ennis. Remember, Ennis isn't like 30s. Ennis is in his 20s. Ennis is young. So he's okay. He's all right for at least another 12, 18 months. Where are we? Jeez, this is a tough question. Chance 99. If you were advising Demetrius Andrade, what would you tell him to do to get some traction going in his career? I don't know. That's a tough one, man. Like, maybe he's had his career. Honestly, maybe that's that with Demetrius. Demetrius has been a pro for a long time, and for so many years, he was chasing down Jamel Charlo. That never got going. I mean, that could be a fight that gets him some traction, but the problem is that fight just ain't worth the money it would have been 5 years ago when we really wanted to see it. I don't know. He looks, well, at least against Benavidez, he looked undersized, didn't he, for 168? He was such a good fighter, and he was a good talker as well, but yeah, it just didn't happen. This is the thing with boxers. You get a small window, you get a small window of making really good money. Your first 10 fights, people are trying to find out who you are. No one's really interested. Your next 5, you start to fight some killers. And then from 15 fights to 20 is when you start really making money. You need to capitalize. Some fighters fall off. Some fighters have long careers. Canelo, Floyd, etc. Some don't. Maybe Andre's just missed his part. Maybe. Hey, should we see if Ben Whittaker's responded? Let's have a look and see. Nothing from the surgeon. Nothing yet. All right. Moses Itama will be world champion by 2026. Do you agree? No. It's too early, man. It's too early. No. There are some, like, we need to see him in there against someone like a top 20 guy first. Like, I fucking love Moses. Like, I'm trying to rein in my thoughts and opinions on Moses, but he hasn't fought a top 20 guy yet. Dempsey McKean weren't that. Maris Vac weren't that. So let's see. Mike Balogan, who he fights on the undercard of Josh Taylor Echo Wisserman, isn't that. So we do need to just take it easy with him. He's only, what, 20? 20? What's the rush? There is literally no rush. He can wait for all the old guard to go. He can wait for Joseph Parker to vanish, and if Fury does come back, but Fury to go, Usyk to go, AJ to go, Wilder. He can literally just wait for all the top 7 or 8 guys to vanish, and then we can see. So let's pump the brakes on him a little bit. This is an interesting question. Sense Making Productions. If Joe Joyce stops, how does he keep his head together and sane without going crazy? Is that what keeps boxers, I'm guessing, fighting too long? Not really. Money kind of keeps boxers fighting a long time. Joe, I'm guessing, would be making good money. He's one of the top heavyweights. It's like that for every sports person, I guess, not just boxers. Every sports person must have that moment, something they've been doing since they were kids, and then it just stops. And it stops at a time where in sports, you're old, but in normal life, you're normal age, you're young. Like 39 is young, but in boxing, it's old. So you just have to find something else to do. And that's the problem for all fighters, which is why some go completely off the rails. Some are lucky to jump into broadcasting and training and promoting and managing. So I guess Joe just has to find his lane. The special one, Prime Hagler versus Prime Golovkin. Who do you think would win? Prime Hagler. I'm the biggest Gennady Golovkin fan, but Hagler, alongside Carlos Monzon and Bernard Hopkins, Hagler probably is the greatest middleweight of all time. I can't pick against the greatest middleweight of all time. It's just impossible. Oh. If Tank Davis retired tomorrow, out of 10, how would you rate his career? 5? 5? He's not had the fights we want to see. Let's be real. He's not had any of the fights I want to see. Like even the Ryan Garcia one, like there's so many question marks and asterisks because of the weight cap. It's not had any of the fights. I want to see Haney. We didn't get to see that. I want to see Shakur. Didn't get to see that. I want to see Loma. Didn't get to see that. Like, so 5. Money, I guess a 10, but 5. Oh, here we go. Ade, who do you think Jack Catterall should fight next? And do you think he should get a world title fight? He's not going to get a world title fight. In terms of fighting next, I mean, there was a lot of talk about Liam Parrow, but that was when Parrow was a champion. Obviously, Parrow got beat by Richardson Hitchens. There was a lot of talk about that. That could happen, but it's a risky fight for both. And the risk is even bigger because there's no world title on the line. So you're fighting to save your career, really. I know that's extreme, but it's true. Neither of those guys wants back-to-back losses. Maybe you do need to swim with the sharks a little bit and take on someone risky. Sabril Matias has obviously come back. That's risky, but it's a big fight. There was a lot of talk about George Kambosos, but I think George Kambosos is going to get the Richardson Hitchens fight. If Kambosos doesn't get the Hitchens fight, then I'll take Kambosos. Would it be an upset if Liam Cameron wins? Yeah, it would. I know some will say, yeah, he was on his way to winning the first fight, but it would, just because of the amount of hype surrounding Ben Whittaker. Like Ben Whittaker's hype was insane, and it still is insane. But yeah, I think it would be a big defeat, a big upset. I think Ben Whittaker wins that fight, so I think it would be a big upset. What's this? FLX semi. Flex semi. Okay. I don't want to be a hater, but the 147 division has a weak narrative because of the current champions, in my opinion. If Boots wants to turn heads, he needs to jump to 154. Getting undisputed isn't as glamorous right now. No, it still is. I know what you mean, but it still is. It still is. It's still glamorous. Like no one would care who you beat to become undisputed if you just become undisputed. Like it's still a big thing. It really is still a big thing. And look, I agree with you. I think the 147 division is as weak as I can ever remember. I can't ever remember a time of me watching boxing and it being this weak, like ever. But there was a time, especially in those early 90s, early 2000s, when fuck me, you had to get through Murderers Row. Like there's just too much talent. Even some of the guys coming up from 140, like Timothy Bradley, even Devin Alexander. I know he didn't have the greatest career at 147, but even him coming up at the time, I was like, Jesus, it was just stacked. Miguel Cotto was around. Fucking obviously Floyd was around. Zab Judah was around. Manny Pacquiao, like there was always someone. Now, Jesus Christ. Is it more impressive beating everyone for their belt like Spence, Beterbiev, Usyk, or having a belt and fighting for undisputed like Bivol and Bud? It's more impressive beating everyone. Yeah, I actually used to hate it when I remember when Bernard Hopkins, when he lost to Jermaine Taylor, although one of those I think was controversial, and Bernard had done all the work collecting all the belts. Bernard Hopkins beat him. Sorry, Jermaine Taylor beat Bernard Hopkins and took all the belts. I'm like, yeah, nah. Like Bernard has fucking done it all for you, and you all of a sudden you just beat Bernard. So yeah, it's definitely more impressive doing kind of the collecting of belts, like especially with what Usyk did, where he went into people's backyards and beat them. Way more impressive. Alexander Murrell. Am I saying this correct? Is it Murrell or Morrell? Says, what do you think about Itama versus Balogun? And do you have any idea as to why there's been such a gap since the McKean fight? 5 to 6 months out is too long. Yeah, 5 to 6 months out is too long. I agree. I don't know if there's been an injury, but the way in which he dispatched McKean, he felt like he could be fighting again in 2 months. Like, I want to see Moses have 5 fights a year. He's not fighting at the level yet where it's like he's in that 3 fights or 2 fights a year category. He should be fighting 5 fights a year. As for the Mike Balogun fight, or Balogun, I'm not as mad at it as some are. Mike fought Gassiev about 18 months ago, I believe, and he got starched in 2. But prior to that, he was knocking people out. He's not a boxer per se. He's a former NFL player, so he's strong, he's tough, he's big. But in terms of skills, not really much there. He's just a big lump. Moses should run through him like a hot knife through butter. Hot knife through butter. Ben McGrath says, have you heard anything on who Usyk is fighting next, Parker or Dubois? Yes, I have heard something, and I can't tell you. That's the truth. That's the truth. It's April 13th. There is no hype for Canelo fight and the Ring magazine in New York City or even a Inoue card. Maybe it starts to ramp up. I don't know. I know what you mean. I almost feel like there's so many big events sort of on top of each other now. Like we obviously, I don't know if you class this as the big event, but we had the heavyweight card that, or the heavyweight main event that Frank Warren put on. And then we've got Ben Eubank coming up, Ben Whitaker, Liam Cameron. Sometimes when there's so many, you almost forget about the big ones. But it will start to ramp up. It has to start to ramp up. I can't wait for all of this stuff, by the way. I'm excited for all of it. Teofimo Lopez is coming for Jaron Ennis. No, he is not. No, he is not. Eric Ramirez, rate my top 5 pound for pound list. Usyk, Crawford, Bivol, Inoue, Beterbiev. Bivol and Inoue are so close. I don't know who to put higher. That there is perfect. Oh, wait. No, that is perfect. That's perfect. Usyk, Crawford, Bivol, Inoue, Beterbiev. Let me think about this actually. Usyk, yes. You know the Crawford one, yeah? Hear me out before Crawford fans jump at me. Doesn't fight enough. Like Crawford is like 1 fight a year for the last 5 years. But okay, no argument. Crawford. Bivol, yes. Undisputed. Inoue, yes. Beterbiev. Bam, maybe? Bam? How far is Bam away from Beterbiev right now? But it's a good list. It's a good list. I would give that a solid 7 out of 10. There are question marks. JK says, Ade, how do I become a member? Oh, that's music to my ears, my friend. There should be a join button. If you're watching this on your desktop or laptop, there should be just a join button. And it's that simple. But yeah, for those of you that are members, I appreciate it. What's this? Do you think Conor Benn will weigh the full 160, or do you think he'll be under the limit by 3 or 4 pounds? I think he'll be 160 on the dot. I think I saw a photo doing the rounds of Conor Benn. I think it was like next to a swimming pool or something. It looked enormous. Honestly, it looked enormous. So I expect him to be 160 pounds. You're kind of right. I do feel like fighters that go up shouldn't really, you don't like when Crawford fights Canelo. I don't expect Crawford to be 160. I expect Crawford to be 162, 163. But I do think because Ben's last couple of fights have been at 154 and he's not actually had a fight since February last year, I think he'll be 160. I think he has to cut a bit of weight to make 160 as well. Do you think Inoue beats all the champs at 126? Been decades since we've had an outright featherweight champion. Well, he's already beat Fulton. Nick Ball next. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, surely there has to be a time when, like, you can't just keep running through fucking divisions. I mean, unless he is Manny Pacquiao, like, surely there has to be a limit where it's like, okay, I can't take this guy's power, and I'm putting on weight, and my speed is slowing down. But I'd make him favorite to smash all the guys at 126. I do smash them all, like knock them all out, and I'm being serious. But that's crazy for me to say. But that's how good I think he is. Honestly, that's how good I think he is. Loads of questions about boots. Get your questions about anything, guys. Literally anything. We might even start talking movies in about 20 minutes. Get your questions in. WBA Mitch says, if Boots were to move to 154 pounds, does he go straight in the deep end, or do we look at recognizable names to keep building his name? Furman, Zoo, is Spence still an option? What's happened to Errol Spence? I don't know. I almost feel like Spence is going to announce his retirement soon. It's been far too long now. Far too long. I like the Zoo one. I like the Tim Zoo one. I think we've seen Tim have a couple of beatings, right? I know he came back against Joey Spencer and won, but the Tim Zoo one's a good one. I think he tests the water first and then he goes bang. This is the thing as well. Remember, he's not old. Boots is not old. I think Boots is 27, 28. He's got time on his hands. So I think you test the water and then you go. Where does the winner and loser go after the Ben and Eubank fight? If Eubank loses, he retires. Convinced of it. Although I think there is a rematch clause. So, but let's ignore the rematch clause. If Eubank loses to Conor Ben, that's that. Honestly, that's that. If Ben loses, he's got the built-in excuse of he tried to jump a couple of weight classes. And if the loss isn't a beating, like if Ben loses on points and it's close, I don't think that affects Ben too much. But if Eubank were to get chinned by Conor Ben, then I think he's playing poker forever. Thoughts on free DAZN pay-per-views in a week? They should do a combined price. What's the free? In a week? Is there free? But oh yeah, you are correct. There is Eubank Ben. There is the Times Square card, and there's Canelo. Interesting. Yeah, they should definitely consider doing some sort of like buy all three and get a 50% discount. Should I speak to the powers? Should I message the powers that be and ask them the question? Should I say, look, my people on the chat are saying this is what should be done? Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that for you guys. Crazy X-Man says, damn, did I come in at the end? No, X-Man, we're getting an hour and a half, so you're here. You're still here. Get your questions in. Get your questions in. The car diaries are amazing. The last one has really inspired me to push myself more. Knowing you flew from London to South Africa is really impressive. For those of you that don't know what Absolute Boxing is talking about, very quickly. So when I got the job in South Africa, you know, I was working in South Africa on boxing for a while. I lived in Nigeria when I got the job. So they were flying me from Nigeria to South Africa. When I moved back to London, they basically said, we can't fly you from London to South Africa. The agreement was Nigeria to South Africa. So I used to fly myself. I used to find the cheapest flights from London to South Africa. You know, them kind of flights where you're staying in the airport for like 18 hours. I didn't give a fuck. I just needed to get there. And I did. And when I got there, I was like, I'm here. Use me. And they did. That's what he's talking about. What we got? Off topic, Addy, but are you getting the new GTA 6 when it comes out? What is a GTA 6? Is that a Porsche? GT is a Porsche, isn't it? Am I getting that, bro? What kind of money you think I'm made of here, brother? Maybe I'll get the toy car. Who knows, though? Who knows? Who knows? Meet your mic. They should have Opataya fight Badu Jack for yeah, agreed. Agreed. Obviously, it's not happening, but that should have been the fight. I think it's more an Opataya, though. I don't think Opataya can make the weight. I did see a picture of Opataya the other day. Boy's thick. And so I almost feel like it's not. I feel like the question would have happened, but I almost feel like Opataya's like, dude, the fight's in 3 weeks. This card's in 3 weeks' time. Opataya ain't making the cruiserweight limit in 3 weeks' time. Opataya is quite thick, you know. I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram, but I do. he has to cut quite a bit of weight to make cruiserweight, you know, quite a bit of weights. I need to get a notepad. I get so many ideas, but writing them down seems like it will help the process. Guys, I'm not joking. I've got so many notepads, but this is the one where I write so much shit down, so many ideas. I just feel like if you're not writing them down, like to try and keep them up there all the time, just not going to work. You need to write them down. What do you think of Haney Ramirez and the possibility of Haney going up to 147? There is no possibility. Haney is going up to 147. That fight against Ramirez is at 147. I think this is a banana skin. I think this is a bit of a problem. I really do. I think Ramirez has struggled to make the 140 limit, but has done it, right? Because he's been sort of given big fights. He's a big guy. Haney ain't the biggest. 135, I get that was tight for him. I thought 140 was perfect. I was like, okay, stay at 140 for a few years. The jump to 147 already? I don't know, man. I don't know. Frozone De Niro. Can't wait for the Sinner super chat. Thank you very much. Same, Michael B. Jordan. I'm looking forward to that film. That looks like a good film. That looks like a really good film. A really good film. What do you reckon is next for Ray Ford at a world title? Appreciate the super chat, Callum Murray. World title. Ray Ford's looked pretty good. You know, one thing I've so much respect for with Ray Ford, that Nick Ball fight where a lot of people thought he won. No excuses. Didn't scream robbery, got straight back down to it, moved up a weight class, and has been in a couple of good fights since then. Ray Ford looked good yesterday. He looked really good. There's been a lot of promise about Ray Ford. Eddie's had Ray Ford for a very, very long time. I remember watching Ray Ford in the back garden of Fight Camp when he destroyed Reese Bellotti. And I remember thinking, fuck me, this kid is special. I still think he is. He does get tagged a lot, but he's an exciting fighter. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing him, but surely world title fight next. I mean, it has to be that. Has to be. All right, where are we? So many questions. Jeez. Sasha English would have liked Stanionis to win, but congratulations to Boots. Yep. This I agree with. I was waiting to see if anyone asked Eddie the questions yesterday about Bam, because I think Bam is almost that silent superstar. Like, Bam doesn't really sell himself. Very quiet. Like, Bam doesn't even look like a fighter, does he? But in the ring, fucking killer. Like, I actually think Bam, and there's some good young fighters, but I think Bam will be pound for pound number one in 2 years. I really do. I know a lot of people might say Shakur Stevenson, and no argument, but I think it will be Bam Rodriguez. I think he's special. I think he's really special. Hey, Ade, who do you think wins Parker versus Caballero? In my opinion, they're 3-4 after Usyk and Dubois, and I think both could beat Dubois. I think Caballero is so underrated. Like, it's actually laughable and criminal how underrated Caballero is. But I think you kind of got it right. He is the fourth best heavyweight. Like, for me, it is Usyk, Dubois, Parker, Caballero. I could make an argument for Bacoli, but I'm not going to, because obviously he's coming off a defeat. I think Bacoli will sort of get the respect of people again, or gain the respect of people when he beats a Jagba. But I don't know, who wins Parker Caballero. It's a tough one, I'm not sure. I really am not sure. That's a good fight. That's kind of all the scenarios. That's one that I've not really thought about. By the way, I think Caballero could beat Dubois. I'm saying it now. I think Caballero could beat Dubois. I think Caballero is a really good fighter. Loves to go to the body. Maybe doesn't have the fastest of feet, but he's got really fast hands. He's in your face. He'll make you work, really make you work. The power, not sure about, but it's like concussive power. Like, he's not a one-hitter quitter, but he'll tap you, then bang. I like Caballero a lot, man. He's fast growing into one of my favorite fighters. One of my favorite fighters. Do I find it hard staying consistent on YouTube? Not really, because I've got a bit of a routine. And if I don't do this routine, my day kind of fucks up. So I get up, I go gym, I come back, I do a YouTube video, and it only takes me 20 minutes. So yeah, not really, not really. And doing the YouTube kind of keeps me up to date with what's going on in boxing world. So if you can kind of, I look at the YouTube and think it only takes me 20 minutes to do a video. These are harder because these lives are a bit longer, but a video takes me like 20 minutes. I don't edit the videos because I don't do takes and cuts. It's just one take. I upload it in 5 minutes. By the time I'm on my way to work, the video's uploaded. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Lawrence King. Hey, Addy, I just splurged on ringside. Fucking hell, for Ben versus Eubank. As you have been there yourself, my first time, what is the experience like? Experience ringside is just, it's incredible. Honestly, it's just incredible because you can feel and hear everything. Like, and then I don't know why, but what I do ringside, which is a bit silly, I always watch the people. I always watch people like family members, celebs, whatever. I kind of people watch a lot. But no, it's honestly, dude, I don't know how much those would have cost. So you obviously got a bit of money with you, but it's money worth it. It's money well. And remember, it isn't just Eubank Ben. Like we've got some really good undercard fights. Like I keep saying this one, but Vidal Riley, Chef Clark is a fucking great fight. No one's talking about it. A great fight. So I think it's money well spent. Money well spent. Another super chat. What is the best performance you have ever seen? Hmm. It's a bit of a random one, this, but obviously it's Crawford against Spence because both were so high level. But in terms of just a boxer looking like they've just clocked the game, like they just understand it and everything else is in slow motion. I don't know if you guys remember Vasily Lomachenko versus Anthony Crolla. And I know some of you might say, oh, but Crolla wasn't that, but Crolla was still a world champion. Loma that day, I don't think I've ever seen anyone box as good as Loma box that day. I just thought he was just fucking insane. Just godlike. I thought it was that good. Honestly, I thought it was that good. All right. Let's get back to the chat. Where are we? Sorry, I'm just trying to see where we are. Oh, here we are. Been loving the content recently, Ade. Thank you very much. In 2 weeks' time, hopefully by the end of this week, but in 2 weeks' time, definitely. But again, fingers crossed this week, I start one-on-one interviews with boxers. You guys have been asking for that for a long time. Me and boxers, one-on-one interviews, long-form interviews as well. It's like 30, 40-minute sit-downs. Hopefully it can happen the end of this week, if not next week. Been loving the content recently, Ade. Do you think that was a career best performance from Boots this morning? Thoughts on Boots versus Ryan Garcia? Say if Henny was to lose to Ramirez. Boots would, pardon me, but Boots would destroy Ryan Garcia. I know Ryan's got hand speed and all that kind of stuff, but nah. Like, no, Boots would just eat him alive. I'm not joking. That's what I think anyway. I think Boots's biggest test is at 154. I don't think anyone at 147 can fight with Boots. Anyone. And now we're talking a confident Boots as well. Like Boots would have gone into that fight. Obviously, look, hearing the critique, what people have said about him, including myself, like I've said, look, is Boots really that guy? He would have heard all that noise. He went in there with a lot of pressure and just looked flawless against another world champion. Ryan's good, but Ryan ain't that level. He would read that Ryan's left hand and counter it and bang. Nah. Why has Turkey decided to do 3 pay-per-views in a week? Surely better spaced out. I don't know if it's a Turkey thing, by the way. I think that's a DAZN thing. Obviously, Turkey works alongside DAZN, but I think there's a whole collective there. I don't mind Eubank Ben and then going to Times Square. I just feel like Canelo should have been moved or Times Square should have been moved. Like that all didn't need to happen like back to back to back like that. And I say this from a very jealous standpoint because I would have liked to have covered all 3 events. Obviously, I will be doing the Ben Eubank one, but now I'm guessing it's going to be a toss of the coin if it's going to be Canelo or Times Square, which is going to be disappointing. So that's from a very selfish perspective. What do you think at a Moses Itama versus Joe Parker? Will it happen? No. no. I'd be shocked if that were to happen. But I mean, look, I mean, again, Moses is such a good fighter. Moses will fight anyone. I've got this weird feeling that Moses could beat a lot of these guys, but if you're Joseph Parker, what do you get from fighting Moses Atama? Nothing. Zero. You get nothing. If you're Moses Atama, you get a lot from fighting Joe's. So Joe's probably sat there thinking, what do I get from fighting this kid? Like Joe wants to be in there against Usyk, against Dubois, maybe a rematch against AJ. He wants those type of fights. He's not fighting Moses Atama. Gets nothing from it. Honestly, gets nothing from it. What I like about what Boots is doing is he's being very, very aggressive, which will help build his name. Something Boo Boo Andrade didn't do and ended up being the avoided skilled risk reward. Yeah. Sorry, I stumbled through that, but I got all of your point. When you're watching Jaron Ennis, you feel like you're being entertained. That's what I got from watching those 6 rounds, five rounds. You kind of feel like you're watching someone that's actually out to entertain you. Even when he makes a miss, he kind of takes the piss a little bit, but he gives you action. And unfortunately, Boo Boo, for as skillful as he was, there were some fights I'm like, come on, man, like do more. So yeah, Boots has got that down to a T. Boots is perfect, and there's a bit of vulnerability with Boots as well. Like I said, with Boots, you kind of see him get hit a few times, which obviously look they're going to try and clean up that, but you can't. You still feel like there is a bit of jeopardy when you're watching a Boots fight. Like you don't go into a Boots fight thinking 100% he's dominating this guy. You're like, oh, Boots could get tagged here. So Boots is so exciting for the division. So exciting. Base the Kid is in DR. Oh, what I would do just to be in DR right now. Enjoy it, brother. We're going to do some bits when you get back. We've spoken about this now, so look forward to doing it. All right. Where are we? Would you ever make Addy and G-Man alive? It's live next week, Friday. Guys, Addy and G-Man is live. It's either live next Friday or Thursday. So when I say next, I mean this coming. It's probably gonna be the Friday. And if it is the Friday, it'll be an evening one. But me and G-Man are gonna go live on the show. So yeah, your wish, your question's been answered. Caesar Mullins, who I've started to see a lot of, says, yes, Addy, been watching since early lockdown, but only recently been commenting. We know you said you got big plans for the member section. Any hints at what might be to come? Respect at Caesar. I don't want to say it because, there's 2 reasons I don't want to say it, yeah? 1, someone might steal it. And that's what happens. I'm not joking. That's what happens. 2, there's been a bit of pushback. I've sent it to someone. I'm trying to not give this away, and said I want to do this, and they're like, "Well, you need permission, that permission, this permission, that permission, this permission." But we're close to getting it over the line. But I think it's incredible. Like me and G-Man actually recorded something, and I'm talking too much. But yes, there are plans for some really good content coming to the member section. Trust me. Where do you think they'll hold Benavidez Smith? Somewhere on the West Coast. I'm trying to think as to where. I don't know if is it a Vegas fight? Maybe it is. It's a world title fight. And Smith is known. Let's not forget, Smith is known, some might say because of defeats, but he's known because of Canelo to Americans. He's known because of Beterbiev. He was a former ring recognized #1. He's been a world champion. So it's a big fight. And obviously the Boatsy performance. So maybe they go big. Maybe they go Vegas. And they're trying to make Benavidez the next superstar. I think he could be the next superstar. So yeah. To avoid someone coming in way over the weight, should they move the weigh-in to the day of the fight? So many health implications on doing that. Because fighters will stupidly still cut a huge amount of weight, and then it doesn't give them enough time to rehydrate. It doesn't give them enough time to get fluid in the brain. So that's why the weigh-ins, weigh-ins used to be on the same day. They moved them to a day before to give fighters the right time to kind of rehydrate and get ready. But what it might do is it might stop fighters cutting a drastic amount of weight. It might. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It's a good question. It's a very good question. Um, Queen T says, I never doubted Boots. The internet is very fickle. The internet is not real. Very fickle. Very, very fickle. Just thinking ahead, Ade, does Dalton Smith get the Puello WBC world title shot next, providing he wins next Saturday? Yeah. Surely that's the plan. Like that has to be the plan. What will be interesting is if Eddie can somehow get Puello to come to the UK. I almost feel like Dalton needs that big lift off. He needs it. Like, I think he has got a fan base, not a very big fan base, right? It takes time to build a very big fan base, but he just needs a fight to really kind of get going. And it might not be Puello. Puello, obviously, look, world champion, but Puello's not going to come and fucking throw a table and talk trash to really sell a fight. But it's a world title fight. And then we'll see what happens after that. But he just needs some sort of kickstart, I think, does Dalton. Connor claims he's moving back to welterweight to win a world title. How many rounds does he last against Boots? Are you trying to get me in trouble? I will say this. He ain't coming back down to 147. I don't care what Connor says. I know Connor said this before. If you haven't done 147 for 2.5 years, you ain't coming back down to 147. You ain't coming back down. Yes, Connor's young, and he'll probably think he can do it because he's fit. He ain't coming back down to 147. No chance. How many rounds does he last against Boots? More rounds than Stanionis. It's a cop-out answer, but that's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. Ade, your schedule must be insane, but exciting at the same time. What fight are you most looking forward to going to, and why? Good question. The schedule is insane, but it's a blessing. I'll give you a bit of an indication of the schedule, actually. So we've got Dalton Smith coming up. Then obviously Ben Eubank fight week, which is a fight week. And then I think, yeah, so the fight's on Saturday. I think I'm either going to be flying to Riyadh on the Sunday or to New York. I'm trying to get the schedule in my head. Kakache Wood, Fisher, Allen, Josh Taylor, Eka Wisserman. It's busy. It's busy. I think the fight I'm most looking forward to is Kakache Wood, which I knew will surprise you. Because that atmosphere in that arena, was it the Motor Point Arena? No, actually, no, I take it back. I take it back. That's a lie. Times Square. If I'm going Times Square, just because of how unique that is. I think that could be the one. So I'd say Times Square, Kakache Wood, Eubank Ben. That'll be my. Matchroom have led the way for female boxing. What has happened? Yeah, looks like everything's going to MVP. I don't know. Like Matchroom is smart. Obviously, look, it's got to make money for them as well. So yes, they can put on some big female fights, but it ultimately has to lead to something, which means everyone's making money. The promotion, the fighters, the broadcasters. And maybe they just feel that there isn't enough big female fights out there that can make money. Maybe that's just their thing. So it looks like MVP have decided, you know, we'll take the baton on and do it. I don't know how many female fighters Matchroom actually have left. Like, I'm trying to think. Because you think there's quite a few that were with Matchroom that no longer are. Like Alicia Baumgardner was, Ellie Scotney was. Sandy Ryan's last couple of fights obviously be on top rank cards, although she's still, I think, signed to Matchroom, I think. I think they've got Beatrice Ferreira. They've got a few, Sky Nicholson, but it does look like their focus now is away from that, and MVP is going to start doing more shows. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Have you ever had any moments interviewing a boxer where they put you on edge or any strange ones? Yeah, Tyson Fury. 100%. For his last fight against Alexander Usyk, that was the hardest interview I've ever done. Like they're always tough, and they're hard because I give my opinions. So I will tell you what fighter I think is going to win, and obviously that gets through to the boxer. But I think Fury came in. This is the second fight with Usyk, and he came in with his whole team. And normally Fury's kind of, oh yeah, he's quite jokey, jovial. He came in fuming. And I didn't know if it was because he heard that I said Usyk was going to win or he was just in the mood. I'm not quite sure. But all these answers were one word, like, which for an interviewer is the toughest it can be when someone's just giving you one word answers. But we got through it. We got through it. But that was very difficult. And it was also difficult because obviously that was supposed to be the big interview, right? I mean, and it just it kind of wasn't. Kind of wasn't. But you know what's harder than the interviews? The face-offs. They're quite hard to do because like, I don't have anyone in my ear. Like with the face-offs, I don't have a laptop in front of me. I don't have any notepads in front of me. I'm just going off the top of my head. And sometimes, like when I did the BIVOL with Turbiev one, and they're giving you nothing, like saying nothing, you're like, fuck, this is going to be tough. And you got to think of questions on the spot. Not easy, but that's why we get paid the big bucks. Ish. All right. What's this? Boxing is a wicked sport to fighters. Eubank Jr. is 35. He doesn't drink or smoke and lives a clean life. And yet he's apparently finished. When he destroys Ben in 2 weeks' time, they'll say he's too big. No. He's not finished if he wins. Obviously, if he wins, he continues. But if he were to lose to Conor Ben, it's a long way back. And it's his own ambition as well. Like, will he have that ambition? We saw the ambition against Liam Smith, so I could be wrong. But Liam Smith isn't Conor Ben. It's just the name. It's all the history between the two. It's a tough defeat to come back from. And not only that, but then does he come back to a big name? Does he warrant a big name? Is he willing to kind of start again and maybe have a couple of warm-up fights before a big one? I don't know. I don't know. Is his heart still in it at this age? I don't know. I think it'll be very tough to come back from a Ben defeat. I do. That said, if he wins, oh my God, if he wins, then I mean, there's so many big fights out there for him. His name's been linked to Canelo. So there's so many big fights out there for him. Let's quickly go. A couple of super chats have come in. Ever had a promoter moan about something you said? Not a promoter, but Sam Jones wasn't happy with me. I think I said something about Joe Joyce. I can't remember. One of my YouTube videos, I think I said something about Joe Joyce. Sam Jones phoned me. I've had a couple of I've had a couple of promoters threaten to sue me. Like, I'm not gonna turn into Ariel Hawani and just sort of fucking go on the mic and tell you who those promoters are. But I've had a couple of promoters threaten to sue me, and I'm like, sue me for what? What are you gonna sue me for? I haven't got anything. But yeah, Sam Jones pulled me up on Joe Joyce once. Watched the two Usyk versus Fury fights last night at first I thought they were close fights, but after watching again, there's no doubt Usyk was the clear winner in both. How did you see it? I saw Usyk clear in the first. I thought the second fight was a lot closer. I haven't watched it back. If I was to score it round for round, 10-9, 10-9, whatever, 10-8, then I'd probably have Usyk as a winner by a couple of rounds, but I can't actually remember it. I remember the first one. Like, it's almost like the second one didn't happen for some reason. The first one I remember because it felt so much bigger. But ultimately, Usyk won both. And Fury has retired. Or so he says. All right, guys, 10 more minutes. Get your questions in. 10 more minutes. Have you heard of the Proper Podcast? Would love to see you do some content with them. Is it proper boxing? If it's who I think you're talking about, I'm pretty sure I did something with him in Saudi for the Zone. I think. But yeah, look, there's going to be a lot of collaborations this year. I hope. I want to get you guys on as well. That's something that I might do. In fact, that's something I'm going to do with the members. We're going to do a live with the members, and I remember doing this a couple of years ago where you just come on. We actually get you on and you talk, as opposed to me just talking by my bloody self all the time. Would love to see Jai move to heavyweight. How do you think he would do? I think he would fuck some people up. Pardon my French. I think Jai is a big problem. I think Jai versus Moses Atama is the fight I think that we are all thinking could happen in 2027 at heavyweight for a world title. Imagine that. Do you stream these lives anywhere else? I'll pay to be a member, but I draw the line at YouTube Premium. and these ads are annoying me. It's live on Twitter. I stream it on Twitter, and I'm going to start streaming it live on Instagram as well. Ade, did you see the Taylor versus Serrano 3 is happening? Thoughts? Of course, I saw it's happening, Queen T. I'm happy for both. Look, the first two fights with these two have been just mad. Like every time, I ain't gonna lie, I always feel like Amanda Serrano is about to knock her out, and Katie Taylor just finds this will, this grit, this strength from somewhere, and I feel like she could do it again. Honestly, like Amanda can crack. She can really hit. Amanda is undersized. Amanda really, at her best, is a 126 fighter. So she's giving away a lot of size, but yeah, it's a big fight. Honestly, big fight. Good luck to both. The numbers are going to be interesting. I know that ticket sales have been going very, very well. Obviously, they did the presser the other day. But it's going to be interesting to see how many people tune in on Netflix. Because let's not fuck around. The numbers they got was because of Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. People waiting to see that fight. I'm very, like, I don't know what's a good number on Netflix to get, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of number they get. All right, let's keep going. So many questions coming in, and everyone doing the super chats. You don't have to, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. What's this? I don't have Instagram, but I do on Twitter DMs. Would just like to talk to you about more in detail regarding the day I'm doing and other things, if that's okay with you. I can give you my number if you want. Send me an email. Send me an email. That's the easiest. All right, where are we? Wait. We need to check if Ben Whitaker's even responded to me. I doubt it. He hasn't. God, that would have been so good if he did, but he hasn't. Who should we try? Should we try Ben Shalom? Let's Ben's gonna get upset, but let's try Ben. Ben, how many rounds is this fight? Can you send a VO, a voice note, so my YouTube live audience can hear? This is a bit crazy, guys. This is what we're trying to do. He's gonna get upset. But it is what it is. Let's see if Ben responds. All right. All right, where are we? Oh my God, there's so many. I just can't. This is too much. Too many questions. I think Benavidez can clean out all of the British light heavyweights since he won't get an opportunity. Okay, won't get an opportunity. Yeah, I agree. I think he can beat Yard. I think he can beat Boatsi. I agree. I think he can beat Candice. I think he can beat all of them. I'd actually go a step further, and I think David Morrell could potentially beat all of them as well. I think Morrell. I don't think Morrell's stocks got worse. I think Morrell looks really good as well. So, yeah. All right. I remember buying the Eubank Ben pay-per-view a week before the fight got cancelled, going to do it the day before this time, just in case. Who are you watching? I'm always intrigued as to, do people buy Sky's pay-per-view or DAZN's? I'm always intrigued. And what's the reasons for it? Like, do you look at who is going to be the presenting team for DAZN and like, nah, or the commentating team? And do you do the same for Sky? I'm always fascinated by like what goes through people's decisions when it comes to buying pay-per-view. If you could pick 2 more fights for retirement to close the year following his next fight, what would they be? You know what? Yeah, I was saying this to G-Man. Like, who is our version of Carlos Takam nowadays? Like, that's kind of what he needs. He needs like a Carlos Takam, who is a true gatekeeper. You get past Carlos Takam, then you're set, right? What he really should be doing is fighting veterans, right? Is veterans, former world champions, guys that can give him rounds, people with names. So the obvious one is Charles Martin. So I would say Charles Martin, Jermaine Franklin. I don't think those are too shabby. Or Otto Vollin's going to sound a bit crazy because you might shit on that name. But Otto Vollin's not a bad name. I mean, he recently fought AJ, recently fought Chisora. What about Moses? Let's see what Moses can do to him. Then we can make that comparison. It's not a bad one. I like that one. I think that's a good one. Would love a review on my YouTube sometime. 100% can do that. Honestly, that's easy for me to do. 100% can do that. That's easy. Super chat here from Reiji says, "Hey Ade, from the MMA side of things, do you believe Dana will change boxing, knowing he and the UFC keeping the monopoly practice, fighter suppression, and bullying and media control? Would a Luke Thomas? Would a Luke Thomas Ade episode? Okay, couple of bits there. Luke Thomas, I am the biggest fan of. Honestly, I watched Luke. I've been watching Luke. This is an MMA for my boxing guys. I've been watching Luke for years. For years. I remember when he used to do that show, Luke Ariel. Who else used to do that show? The guy with the shirt, hat, I can't remember the names. I actually don't believe that Dana's going to come in and change anything. I really don't. I think boxing's a complete different beast to MMA. But we'll see. Look, he's got the power of Turkey behind him. And I think we've seen how that power has changed boxing quite a lot in the last 18 months. So you never know. But yeah, I don't know many people that, or I haven't heard many MMA fighters, former ones, that say great stuff about Dana. But from a business standpoint, UFC is obviously making loads of money. So maybe from a business standpoint, it makes sense. From the fighters getting paid what they think they're worth standpoint, there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. I'm just checking to see. Okay, no. How many days a week do you train, and what do your sessions look like? I train 5 to 6 days a week. I kind of do like upper body splits, lower body splits, loads of cardio, sprints. Obviously, I'm 44, so I can't train the way I used to. Like, I used to squat crazy and deadlift crazy, but I'm not doing all that kind of shit now. I don't want hip and back and knee problems when I get older. So I more do like loads of reps, but I'm still a little something. You got a little suck of that. A little something. But no, like, I just try and stay in shape, man. I just try and stay in shape. As I've got older, it's more a case of just getting to the gym for my mental health and just to stay in shape. Out of interest, was that actually you and Hatman Strike Back live a few days ago? I know some people control on here. It was me. It was me. And it's funny because I said, it's Ade. I said, morning peeps. And everyone was like, is that Ade? And I think even Hatman was like, I don't think it's Ade. Yeah, it was me. I go on a lot of people's lives. Like, I'm a big boxing fan. So I will jump on. You know how many random channels I watch? Like, so many random channels. So I will always go on and watch, especially Hatman. Especially Hatman. Who is more corrupt, WBC or WB? I'm not. Well, 1 second, brother. You're trying to get me fired. I'm abroad. I'm the face of the zone. I can't answer that question. All right, where are we? Guys, 2 more minutes left. There's just, I didn't expect these many fucking questions to come in. Who would you favor out of AJ and Wilder in their primes? Whew, man. Head says Wilder, heart says AJ. Like, when Wilder let that right hand go, good luck. Good luck. Dennis the Don says, Ade, what's up from Germany? Do you think AJ can be world champion again? I'm more leaning to no than yes. I actually think AJ will only fight once more. Maybe he wants to fight more, but I think it'll be once more, and I think it's Fury. I still think that could happen. And obviously, that's not a world title fight. So, yeah, I don't know. I would love AJ to be world champion again. Like my love for Anthony Joshua is through the roof, right? Not just as a British guy, but a British Nigerian guy. I'd like to think that we know we're cool outside of boxing. I've met him a few times. Yeah, but it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. There are young kids coming through. It's a young man's game. What's the hunger? He's been a two-time unified world champion before. Does he have that same hunger that he once had when he was coming through and just fucking starching people? Don't know. I don't know. Whitaker with Andy Lee means Cameron is getting stopped. Um, Possibly. Obviously, Andy Lee's a great trainer. Fantastic trainer. Like the way like that Paddy Donovan performance still shocked me. Like, so I think he's really good. Obviously, he looks after Joseph Parker as well now. He's been part of the Tyson Fury camp, former world champion himself. So there's a lot of experience there. He'll be very much like a father figure to Ben. Ben will have to listen to him. And if Ben can listen to him and they can kind of get it popping, then you never know. You never know. Remember, the Ben Whitaker hype isn't for Ben Whitaker to get past Liam Cameron. Like, it's for Ben Whitaker to be a world champion. Like, so we need to see, like, it's not just next Sunday. We're talking future, like the next 4 or 5 years. He would have underachieved if he's not fighting at world level sometime next year. Which boxer would you class as a genuine friend outside of the ring? You seem to always work well with AJ. Yeah, I say Chisora. I say Derek. Like Derek's taken me out to eat. Derek's fucking wild. But I've been out to eat with Derek. Go and smoke some shisha with Derek in central London. So Derek invited me to his house. I wasn't away. I wasn't here for New Year's. So I'd say Derek, 100%. AJ, obviously. Craig Richards, very, very cool with. There's a few. I could mention loads, but those ones are one that Connor Ben, cool with Connor. I remember when I had my studio in Hackney and I asked Connor to come down to speak to him. He came down. We randomly bump into each other and stop and chat for a while. Connor's cool. There's quite a few ones in America as well that are good. All right, guys. Sorry. I need you to do me a favor. Smash that like button. See that like button? Again, it really helps the channel. I don't know what it does, to be honest with you, but I've been told it really helps the channel. So if you could like it, I'd really appreciate it. All right, last one. Ade, do you place many bets on fights? No. 2 reasons. Number one, I'm not really a betting guy. Number two, I'm not really a betting guy. And number three, I can't really do that. But I'm just not a betting guy in general, if I'm honest with you. It's not, I don't have a betting account. It's just not for me. So no, I don't do that. All right, we'll go one more. King KO says Bud has got a questionable resume too. You know, Bud doesn't help himself. Like when Bud sat down, I don't know if you saw the interview. Bud sat down with former UFC champions Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman, and he basically shat on the CV of Errol Spence. I'm like, dude, Errol Spence is your biggest win. You're shitting on your biggest win. Kind of doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I get what people mean about Bud's resume, but man, Bud's what is he? 41-0, 40-0. Solid. That's solid. All right, one more. Ade, are you going to watch WrestleMania? No. My time of watching wrestling is done. There was a time like I used to watch it a lot. Like when it was The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold, a lot. Nah, this not for me. Although a lot of people have been telling me that it's vastly improved. I'm 44. No, I'm joking. It's just not for me. Ade, are we going to see you sitting in the green chair? Yes. Someone thought I threw the green chair away. It's there. I wish I could lift it, but it's too heavy. It's literally just there. I can't turn the camera around, but it's there. I am going to sit in the green chair. When I do the members Q&A, the members Q&A will be in the green chair. And I might just do it for some other stuff as well. But 100% sitting in the green chair. All right, guys, girls. That's been a fucking great live. Should we see if Ben Whitaker's responded to us? I don't think he has, but we'll see. Should we just check? Come on, Ben. He's probably thinking, dude, of all the things you're asking me, like, what the hell is this? And he hasn't responded. Wait, is Ben Shalom? Is Ben Shalom responded? Let's quickly check. Is Ben? He hasn't responded. Who else will know? Andy Lee will know. But we can't do that. We can't do that. All right, guys, girls, it's been a good one. Thank you very, very much. As you leave the live, so as you exit the building, please hit that like button, share the video, and we will see you next week where more car diaries for the members. And by the way, if you haven't joined up to the members program, should I tell you why you should? Here we go. Here's my little cell. Here's my cell. Because it's going to be the best members program ever. There's going to be so much content coming your way. Plus, it's more the special perks thing. So, like, obviously, the members that have recently joined, I picked 5 to go with me to Eubank Ben Fight Week behind the scenes. I mean, I don't know what other things members, other YouTubes are doing for their members. They can't do that. They can't do that. That's incredible. It's incredible. So, yeah, hopefully we can do more of that. I am still trying to get a couple of tickets for Ben Eubank. We'll see what we can do. I can't promise that because fucking hundreds of people are asking for tickets. But I think the fight week thing will be fun and you'll enjoy it. But anyway, I will see you all soon. Try and become a member. It'll be fun. And it helps me. It helps me. Peace.